a few hours from now, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will rise in Parliament to present her 8th consecutive budget. It is going to be another record-breaking budget for the Finance Minister. The focus this time around, if you heard what the Prime Minister had to say at the start of the Parliament session, MGM, Mahila, the renewed focus on women, Gareeb and Madhyam Varg, i.e. the middle class. That seems to be the pitch of the government this time around. But the big question, the consumption conundrum, does this signal the fact that the government will act and provide some relief in terms of taxpayers? That's the big hope. That's the big ask. Will the government deliver? The Chief Economic Advisor certainly seems to believe that the consumption problem is not a structural, serious problem at this point in time. And he believes it's the private sector that needs to do more to actually rev up demand by way of wages and employment. So that's going to be the big one. Will they deliver on the tax relief expectation, at least in the 10 to 25 lakh bracket? Next up, the other C, the capex chase. Will the pace of growth be tempered? Once again, industry is going in with expectations of a 20%, 25% growth in capex. Remember, 11.11 lakh crore rupees was the capex that was budgeted in the last budget. Actual spending, and the numbers have just come out overnight, 6.85 lakh crore. So there is a big gap, and that was on account of the elections and so on and so forth. That also impacted growth. So we will have to wait to see whether there is going to continue to be that heavy lifting by the government on capex. Again, the economic survey signaling that the baton has to now move to the private sector. And that brings me to the private push. The private sector needs to pick up the baton on investments. That's been the government's nudge. That has been the government's pitch. Remember, the economic survey saying that, look, corporate profitability is at a 15-year high. You're swimming in profits. Do more to create jobs. Do more as far as wage growth is concerned. That's the message. We'll have to wait to see how that translates into policy prescription. Make in India 2.0. Will they bring back the concessional tax scheme that was phased out only last year in 2024 with a 15% tax rate or an 18% tax rate for new manufacturing units? That's the big question, and that's the big hope. New PLI schemes, perhaps at least as far as the component sector is concerned, for the electronic space. This has been an ask, and this is something we know on record from Ashwini Vaishnav that the government is working on. Will it come in the budget or outside of it is the big question. Unlocking untapped sectors, the low-hanging fruit, tourism, labor-intensive sectors like textile, apparel, job-creating sectors like footwear, furniture. Will these get the government's focus and attention is the question. Through the economic survey, deregulation, the word deregulation and regulation appeared 350 times in the 481-page economic survey. The government clearly may want to signal more ease of doing business at the central government level and also try and push for that at the state government's level. Will there be a framework that will be announced is the big question. And finally, fiscal consolidation. You know, there has been a lot that's been said. Why are you wedded and obsessed with this fiscal deficit number? Let there be a little bit of a slippage. But if history is anything to go by, in the last 10 years, the government, with the exception of the COVID years, has stayed course on the fiscal consolidation glide path. And the expectation is that they will not veer away this time around either. So it's a balancing act that the finance minister will have to deliver. Certainly more challenging situation, a more challenging growth environment. 6.3 to 6.8% is the growth assumption that the economic survey is going in with. What will she deliver on? What will she sacrifice? We will tell you right here on CNBC TV18.
Make informed decisions with comprehensive analysis on the go.
Strengthen your portfolio with real-time market updates on the go. Create effective strategies with insightful expert opinions on the go.
Grow on the go with CNBC TV18, now streaming live 24/7 on YouTube.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC TV18 on all of our digital platforms.